Hello, friends, and welcome. Intuitive Rene here, bringing you what I hope is going to be an interesting reading. So, for a while now, I have been trying to record a pick a card reading because it's what you all enjoy doing. It's what I have always brought to my channel. And as I said, for a couple of days now, I have been trying to record a pick a card reading, and something goes wrong. Every single time, something goes wrong. I have also, for quite some time now, had this inkling from Spirit, if I can call it that, to do a reading on the state of affairs in South Africa at the moment. It's not my thing. I am not a political person. I do not understand the goings on. I don't want to understand the goings on. It's not something that I subscribe to, if I can put it that way. I love my country. I am an advocate for South Africa. I am always optimistic and hopeful that things are going to be wonderful, amazing. I love this country. I love everything about this country. Okay, maybe not the crime, but I do love my country. And politics really isn't my flavor. It isn't my thing. So I always try and stay out of it. And I have people try and explain it to me, and it's like it goes straight over my head. It's not my thing. So when I get kind of pressure from Spirit to do these kind of videos or to do these kind of readings, I get nervous because I'm completely out of my depth. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm afraid I say the wrong thing. I'm afraid it gets misunderstood in the wrong way, and I just cause chaos. So I sort of put it off. But now what's happened to me this week? Now, the day that I recorded this particular video right now is Wednesday. I have to think about that. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of March, 2023. And I should have had a pick a card video out for you already this week, but every time I do it, I either have sound problems, I have video problems, I have computer problems, I have inspiration problems, I have terrible readings that come through, and there's no ways I can release that to the public. So delete all the way through. And for a couple of days now, I've had the words "Cry the Beloved Country." I know it's a book. I know it's a book about South Africa. I cannot tell you how old the book is or when it was written. I have not read the book. I do not know what the book actually is about, except that I know it's a story about South Africa. But I keep hearing "Cry the Beloved Country," "Cry the Beloved Country," and I think it's Alan Payton, I think, is the author. That's all I know about it. And like I said, I know it's a book about South Africa. But the title, "Cry the Beloved Country," has been coming to me every single day. And I did mention to my members during a live last week that I've had this kind of thing coming through the whole time from Spirit that I need to do something about, do a reading on the electricity crisis that we have in the country. And everybody was like, yes. And I said to them that I would record it, and if it was terrible, I'd only release it to them. But I haven't got around to it because I've been trying to do a pick a card. So anyway, over the last couple of days, this week in particular, I've had quite a few client readings where the clients have outrightly asked me what's going on in South Africa. So Spirit have an amazing sense of humor, an amazing way of working through things. Because I've been pushing back and because I've been resisting a little bit, they have found other ways to basically give me the information, to give me the insight. So I'm plucking up the courage today to do the reading. When I do my reading, my videos, I don't prepare, I don't plan, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Like, I might plan a couple of questions to work through or something like that, but typically, you see me shuffle, you see me draw the cards live, and it's done. Again, in my nerves, I did a sample reading, and I thought, actually, okay, that's quite nice. And I left the cards all laid out on the table, and I was going to do a reading where I just interpret the cards that I had already shuffled and drawn. But then I thought to myself, no, that's not going to work because that's not authentic. So put the cards all back into the deck, and here we are. So we're starting from scratch. Now, on the table here in front of me, I have my CS Tarot Rider-Waite-Smith edition. This Rider-Waite-Smith deck was re-engineered or created by a local South African, Conrad Steyn, beautiful human being. So much love and respect for him. So I thought it was appropriate to use my CS Tarot for today's reading, considering we're looking at the state of the South Africa, state of the country. So even though that this is not completely a South African creation, but it has been re-engineered and remastered by a South African who is just, as I said, a beautiful soul. So CS Tarot is what I'm using today. And then what you can't see on the outside of my camera view is I have a deck over there, a deck over there, a deck over there, and another one over there. Oracle decks that I want to incorporate and use as well in this reading. In front of me over here, I do have a couple of questions written down on a little scrap piece of paper, just in case I lose inspiration, if I panic or get fearful. So just bear with me, friends, bear with me. But anyway, my mouth is so dry, like I am so nervous to do this, but I am doing it. If you're seeing it, it obviously hasn't turned out too bad. If it's terrible, I won't be releasing it to the public. So if you're seeing it at this stage, obviously the reading didn't turn out too bad. So, as I said, full disclosure, I do not know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is me just reading the cards around a situation that I don't have any knowledge of, which is basically what I do when I do readings for clients. I don't necessarily know exactly what they're going through, but I read the cards around their situation. So I suppose it's not any different. The only difference is we're talking about a single life versus the life of millions, of everybody that is in our country. All right. So the first thing that I want to do from our cards is I want a couple of cards to give us the state of the nation. Now, I know that our president a month ago or so, I think it was early Feb, he did a State of the Nation address. I did not watch it because I do not understand, and it would have meant nothing to me. But I love that phrase, State of the Nation, because that's what I want to know from the cards right here and right now. What is the state of our nation? What is the state of South Africa? And I know that's an incredibly broad kind of term, okay, State of the Nation. We're not looking at a specific, we're not looking at, a particular category area or a concept. We're looking at South Africa as a whole. So as I shuffle, I'm asking the question, what is the state of our nation right here and right now on this day that I record this video? Okay, here goes nothing, friends. So card number one we have is the Fool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Right, I'm going to stick it there. So we're still looking at the state of our nation. We've got the Fool, we've got the 10 of Cups. Now you see, and the 2 of Cups. So now I look at this, and I wonder what the panic is about. Why is everybody getting themselves all worked up? Why is everybody so panicked? Because, these 3 cards that I've drawn are beautiful, wonderful, and amazing cards. So what is the state of our country right now? But now I have to change my thinking, okay? I have to put myself into the perspective of the country, into the perspective of our leadership, of the challenges, of all the things that are going on. So I have to now, instead of interpreting this as an optimist, because I am absolutely the forever optimist, but let's get down to grassroots. So let's really unpack each of these cards on their own to understand what is the state of our nation. And when we look at the Fool card, right, I need to center myself. When we look at the Fool card, here we are stepping off a cliff. We are looking up. We've got our heads held high. We are feeling confident. We are feeling fabulous. We are feeling as if untouchable, okay, is the words that I hear. We do have this little white dog. Now, the fact that the dog is white is an indication of purity. It's an indication of not being tainted, okay? And he's trying to warn him. And I'm saying to you now that this character over here is our leadership. The little doggy that we have over here is all of us, okay? And we can see the potential danger. We can see the fall. We can see the stepping over the cliff and stepping into the abyss that's taking place. We've got the sun shining, but our leadership that we have over here, our country that we have, is just quite oblivious to everything that's going on around because the head is tilted up. There is this kind of nonchalance, kind of, what does everybody panic about? Everything's going to be absolutely fine. But we can see the danger. We can see the challenge. We can see the potential obstacle that lays in front of us, because if he continues to take one more step, everything is going to come crashing down. So the Fool card is typically normally an exciting card because it is about taking that leap of faith. It is about stepping into the unknown. But when we're looking at what is the state of our nation, The full card says we don't actually know what we're doing. We are stepping blindly. We are hoping, okay, with every ounce of our being that everything's going to be okay. But actually, there are dangers all around us. And some people, a very small minority of people, can see the dangers, can see what's coming, and are screaming loudly, are barking and jumping up and trying to attract attention. But whoever it is just saying, I got this. I can figure this out. All's okay. Head up in the clouds, head up, not noticing, not looking at what is right in front of them. Then I look at the next card. So typically the Ten of Cups is the card of family. It's the card of happiness, of joy. It's the card of families coming together for all the good and wonderful and happy times. But in this context, in the context of the state of our nation, to me, this is about the communities coming together. Okay, it is about the rainbow uniting. South Africa has the most amazing, diverse rainbow nation. But if we don't come together and work together, we are not going to succeed. What is the current state of our nation? And I do have to say to you that South Africa, in the last couple of years, forgetting about COVID, right? Just we've had natural disasters. We might not have had major earthquakes, and we might not have had major tornadoes and volcanoes and all of those kind of natural disasters, but we've had flooding. We've had all sorts of crazy things that have taken place. And one of the things that I have to acknowledge, as somebody who doesn't understand or want to understand politics, when there's a crisis in the country, forgetting about the powers that be at the top, all of us at the bottom, we tend to rally together. Communities come together in ways that we did not know communities could come together. Communities come together and help each other out, and they stand proudly together, arm in arm, linked. So what is the state of our nation? That even though there seems to be this complete and utter disarray of what's going on and what's going to happen next and how it's going to be, we are coming together as a nation, as a community, as the Rainbow Nation. We are coming together. So actually, I think that our strength lies in who we are on the ground level and not about what's lying at the top. This is the state of our nation. We need to redirect our focus from being focused to the powers that be at the top to be more focused on you and I on the bottom. State of the nation. Next card we have is the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is partnership. It's union, it's connection. The Two of Cups is about coming together as equals, seeing each other for who we are, noticing that we both come from the same place, but coming together because we have a common goal, we have a common purpose. So the state of our nation, forgetting about politics, forgetting about all of that kind of gunky stuff, the state of our nation is we are stepping into an unknown. We do not know what waits for us. We do not know what tomorrow brings. We do not know what challenges that we may experience tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year. But we are learning how to unite and how to work together as a single unit. We are learning how to come together as one for the same common goal. But in order for us to do this, we have to understand that we are separate from those that are above. And if we don't come together, we're never going to change the focus. All right. So I'm going to leave them there. Now, the next big challenge that we face in this country is connected to connected to everything, and that is our electricity crisis. So just for those of you who may be watching who are not from South Africa and maybe do not understand the terminology I'm going to use, I just want to explain that in South Africa we have a major energy crisis, electricity crisis, so much so that we have this situation where our electricity gets cut off for hours on end every single day. We have a roster, we have a schedule, and you can expect your electricity to get cut off. Sometimes it's 2 hours at a time. For some people in some parts of the country, it's 4 hours at a time, a couple of times a day. Okay. So, and again, we are so resilient. You know, South Africans, we complain. Every single day, we all complain about the lack of electricity and the electrical crisis, but we carry on. That's one thing that makes me so proud to be South African, is it doesn't matter how bad things get, it doesn't matter how complicated things get, we are just so resilient, and we just figure it out. We figure it out. We had to. So corporates have had to, adjust the way that they work with their staff. Shops have had to, make adjustments to things. It has cost money because people have had to buy inverters and generators and all sorts of things. But the fact is, we continue. One way or another, we continue. So we've just had a major situation with Eskom, who is our electricity provider. Eskom, we've had the Eskom CEO walk out. He's given the most amazing talk around, the reasons and the goings on behind the scenes. And he's not there anymore. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but we still have the load shedding. We still have an electricity crisis. So we've looked at the state of our nation. I'm now going to look at the state of our electricity situation. So what is the current state of Eskom? What is the current state of our electricity supply? Let's see what we get. Current state of our Eskom and our electricity supply. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Seven of Cups. We've got lots of cups coming through. And we have the King of Pentacles. All right. So, state of our electricity crisis, the state of our electricity provider. Ace of Wands. So immediately when we look at the Ace of Wands, we can see this hand sort of coming out of the clouds, offering this stick. It's a huge, big stick. It's a wand, okay? Bringing it forward, offering it and showing it. It is about inspiration. It is about new ideas. It is about new ways of doing things. And that's exactly what needs to happen. Our current state of our electricity crisis, things have to shift. We cannot continue as we were. We cannot continue to operate and to function the way that we were in the past 20 years. Something has to shift. And it has to be something radical. It has to be something that completely takes us out of our comfort zone, takes us out of our sense of reality, and gives us the opportunity to see change. So Ace of Wands excites me because the Ace of Wands says that we're going to have this concept that's going to come out of nowhere, that's going to be put forward. It's big, it's bold, it's direct, it's obvious, and it is going to shift things around. We do have some tough decisions to make. Okay, I'm talking about the collective of South Africa. We have a tough decision to make because I believe, going back to the state of our nation, it is about the collective. It is about the coming together. So we cannot all sit back and wait for one person, whoever that one person may be. We cannot sit back and wait for one person to come up with an idea, to make decisions, to implement it, and to get it to us. We cannot all just sit back on our couches and wait. We have to come together as a community, as a rainbow nation. We have to come together and work together for the common goal, for the same purpose. I've just also noticed with the Two of Cups has got the medical symbol of healing there. We have to heal. We have to, and the only way that we can heal is by being together. If everybody stays in their camps, if everybody stays in their little corners, we're always going to be separate. We need to come together. And it's in that coming together that we fix, that we mend, that we come up to the solutions. So we do have options. Some of them are frightening. Some of them are good. Some of them are crazy. But there is an option. There is an opportunity for growth, for improvement, for betterment. And we do have some tough decisions to make around. And I believe that we cannot do this until we expose everything that needs to be exposed. When I say that, I'm not talking about corruption or anything like that. I'm talking about exposing truth around what is actually the problem. What is actually the problem, and what is the actual truth of the situation? Not just what we read in the media, not just what we see on the telly, not just any of that, but actually communities coming together to ask the tough questions, to get the tough answers, and to work together in understanding what our options are so that we can take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to us. When I look at the King of Pentacles is a singular individual who is in charge, who is in control, who has power and authority. Okay, so that is confirmation that we need such a person. We need a King of Pentacles to step up to the plate. And we need somebody who doesn't operate from ego, who doesn't operate from power, who doesn't operate from a place of, look at me, I'm superior to you. We need somebody who's prepared to hold and carry the responsibility for the sake and the benefit of everybody else, but somebody who actually truly holds the benefit, the good intentions of all of us, of our community. All right, I'm going to put the tarot out of the way because I want to just unpack again a little bit more. And I'm going to start with this deck. I have to think about that. So this deck, as you can see, is called Native Spirit. All right. Native Spirit is a beautiful, gentle oracle deck. I'm giving it a shuffle because what I want to understand now from this deck is going back to community, because I understand here I was looking at the country and here I was looking at the electrical crisis. But I want to know, because what's come through very clearly in both of these is the coming together of the community, of us working together, of you and I standing together as a single unit in fighting back against whatever needs fighting back against. So from Nature Spirit, I want confirmation of that. I want confirmation that I have understood the message clearly, that I have understood and interpreted correctly, and just a confirmation for us on that, please. All right. So the cards are shuffled, and I'm taking that one over there. My nose is itchy. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got. I love it. We've got our ancestors coming through. So South Africa, you know, the culture of South Africa is definitely a culture of ancestors. We do believe in our ancestors. We call our ancestors in on a daily basis. You know, we also understand and recognize that we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for our ancestors. We are so grateful for everything that they've done for us. We are so grateful for everything that they do for us in the here and the now. It doesn't matter what your creed is. It doesn't matter what your background is. We all honor and respect our ancestors. Some cultures more than others, but ancestors are a huge part of South Africa. And I think this is what we need to do: is we need to start listening to what our ancestors have to say. We need to, in coming together, in solving this problem, in reuniting and re-establishing South Africa as a whole, fixing and overcoming our electricity crisis, we need to go back to basics. We need to go back to what our ancestors had to say. We need to listen to what they're telling us now. How are they advising us? How are they guiding us? What are they offering us? We need to listen, and we need to take it to heart. One of the things that I always get in any ancestor work that I do, whether it be my own or whether it be with a client, our ancestors were very simple people. Their lives were very simple. You know, there was right and wrong, there was up and down, there was left and right. There was very simple kind of concepts and understandings that brought us a foundation, a moral basis that was truth. We've complicated that with our greed, with our ego, with our need for more power, our need for status, our need for, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So we need to strip ourselves bare. We need to get back to the basics of who we are, of what it is that truly matters to us. And I can tell you now, our ancestors believe in community. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your culture is, what your background is, where you come from. But if we don't love each other, if we don't work together, if we don't stand together, we're never going to fix anything. We're never going to overcome anything. We will always remain broken. Okay. I am then my favorite, my favorite oracle, Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. And actually, Denise Lynn as well. I just remembered, I just realized that Nature Spirit deck is also Denise Lynn, and this one I'm shuffling now is also Denise Lynn. So let's just see. This deck is really very simple. It's very basic, but it speaks such volumes. So what message do our ancestors have for us right here and right now? What message do our ancestors want us all to take away from this reading here today? Our ancestors are telling us action. I love that, action. You know, and again, isn't this just such a beautiful picture? I know South Africa, not everybody is by the coast, not everybody is close to the ocean. I am, but most people, you know, a lot of people do live inland. But we've got the stormy clouds. we've got the waves rolling and crashing in. And I'm loving that the colors are so similar here, besides for the title across the bottom. We've got A, beginning of the alphabet, ancestors, we've got action. So this is our ancestors telling us now is the time to jump to action. Now is the time for us to stand together, to rally together, and to say no to things, to situations, and to circumstances that do not help us, that do not feed us, that do not fix our problem. And again, we must all come together in this. We have to stand united, because if we are all sitting back in our homes waiting for somebody else to uncover the truth, to speak the truth, to make decisions, to come up with the ideas, to make the decisions, all we're going to do is sit and complain about it. But if we get involved and have our say and speak out collectively as a unit, as a collective, as a rainbow nation, if we come together, taking the advice of our ancestors, but jumping into action. And by action, we're not talking about aggression. We're not talking about, doing horrible things, but we're just talking about taking action to say no to the things that don't agree with us, the things that we feel are incorrect and not valid. We need to stand together as one, as a unit, as a community, in order to fight back and to correct the ways of, well, to correct the troubles that we have, the challenges that we have at the moment. All right, the last deck, because I've only got one space left, I am going to take is this deck, and it is the Signs of the Times Oracle, because let's see, what are the signs of our times? So the last question I want to ask here, just to end off this reading, because this reading has not gone as I intended it. Well, as I expected. I expected it to be more around the what are the problems, and this is actually giving us a solution. This is actually giving us a way forward. So that's exactly what I want to ask from this particular deck, from the Signs of the Times Oracle. We understand now that we need to listen to our ancestors and that we need to take action. But what is the first step? What is the very first thing that we need to do as a collective, as a unit coming together? Okay. And I want that one over there. Right, let me just put them down and see what we've got. So we've got the globe and its possibility. And there we have, I know this map is not accurate, but we can see our beloved country, cry the beloved country, right down the bottom there. So, and look how perfectly it fits. I mean, like, come on. So to me, globe, and actually, let's read from the guidebook. So it is card 31. Let's find card 31. Just a short little phrase. So let me hold it like this, then you can enjoy the picture while I read from the book. It says, the earth is as vast as ever, but in the 21st century, you have the benefit of connectivity. With advanced technology at your disposal, you have the world at your fingertips. You may be making important connections online, preparing to travel, or literally moving to a new home. This movement, whether it be a relocation for a job or an unexpected trip, or a metaphorical journey of learning, there's ours. It may force you out of your comfort zone, so embrace it. Expansion is in your future, so get ready to experience different people, perspectives, and growth opportunities. You may meet someone or start a type of long-distance communication in the course of your travels. The globe is a reminder of possibility, of how big the planet is, and at the same time, how small. Trust in the direction this movement takes you, and remember that there is so much potential in this wild and wonderful planet. It's time for us to explore it. I love that, because isn't that what we need to do as a country? Isn't that what we need to do right now? So cry our beloved country, cry the beloved country. We need to recognize that something is wrong. We need to recognize that it's not perfect. Okay, we need to recognize that we have a world of possibilities available to us. We truly, and honestly, I mean this from every ounce of my being, we have the most beautiful country in the world, from the people to the weather, the climate, to the terrain. I don't know what the word is, the terrain, to the opportunities, to the possibilities. South Africa is, as far as I am concerned, the perfect place to be. Is it perfect? Of course not. But we can make it perfect if we listen, if we stand together, and if we work towards a common goal for the common good and eradicate whatever doesn't need to be there. But we have to stand together. we do need one leader, of course we do, but we need to choose that person. We need to choose that person who actually has the best interests of every single one of us at heart, and not just money, power, and status. So friends, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you would like to see me climb out of my comfort zone a few more times, please do comment and let me know below. If you have anything to add to this, or anything that you want to share, if you have specific questions that you would like me to ask, comment below. Share that with me, and I will do my best to read the cards without understanding the question, so to speak. Sending you all much love and many blessings. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for your love and support. And until we connect again, from my heart to yours.